76 minutes I didn't like at all. We arrived here and I think everybody could see we faced an opponent who was low of confidence. We didn't use that at all, but the reaction was good again, and so we take the 3 points and are really pleased about that.
In all fairness, it's not really about the performance, it's about putting points on the board and getting the 3 points, and no matter how it comes, 3 points is 3 points, and we're happy we done that today.
I find it very hard to accept 9 yellow cards in the game for the so-called fouls we committed. 2 of them for kicking the ball away. I don't see it. And I thought for the rest of the time with 11 men we did extremely well. 14, we went down to 10 men. It was going to get that a bit harder. There was quite a lot of time added on, and it cost us. And Liverpool could score 2 goals, but to say I'm disappointed would really be a bit of an understatement. What I felt after the game, I actually told the referee what I felt. I'm not going to repeat it. He might, say what I said to him. Gave me a yellow card as well during the course of the game, so that'll add to the yellow card if that's counted amongst the 9. But I've got to say that I really do think that today we were hard done by.
Mo scored a vital goal, but also a special goal, 200 now for Liverpool.
Yeah, we're carrying around the shirt with 200 on the back already for 2 weeks, so now we could give it to him. It was a great moment in the dressing room, very special number for a very special player.
We thought it was an own goal. Is it not?
Well, are you going to tell him that?
No, we've been joking about it. Whether it's football or not, he's always there for us, and to have someone like him around, as well as the rest of the team, it's incredible.
Yeah, Salah is incredible, no doubt about that. But Liverpool fans of a certain vintage will remember a certain David Fairclough.
Yep.
And it seems to me they might, in Harvey Elliott, have found a new super sub, but he keep playing like that and he won't be a super sub, he'll be playing in the team.
No, when he came on today, he was just it was nothing but positive for Liverpool. We're just showing here touches where they are, because he likes to float around the pitch, and I think this is before Crystal Palace went down to 10 men. I think Roy's right to feel hard done by, because I thought that Palace were good for good value today. They played very well, but I do think that this is the yellow card. He gets in behind that in that midfield. Ayew stops a counter-attack, which is why he picked up that second yellow. But this is what he does brilliantly. So he creates these overloads. So we got Palace picking up 3 players there, which usually be Gomez, Gakpo and Salah, that these 3 would be picking up. He just drifts over. So he puts Klein in a difficult position. It frees up Gomez. He puts a good ball into the box. This time it's Richards and Slupp who was asking the question too, saying, right, who's going to come and get me in here? And he did the same on the other side. And it looks like really minimal stuff that he's doing. But when teams go down to 10 men, you're always trying to create those kind of little margins to gain a yard here and there. And this is his goal. And what he does brilliantly here, he recognises the 3v3 and he drifts into a position here where nobody wants to come and mark him. Has a good scan around him, realises in acres of space, and he just takes his time. There's the 3v3 that I've picked out. He's the spare man, give him the ball, and now he's positive. He could play it into Salah, but he wants to take responsibility, gets his shot on goal, and it was a brilliantly taken goal. First shot on target as well, but it was just, when he came on, you just noticed a difference in almost how much it freed up Liverpool. They were poor for large portions of the game, and he made the difference.
As much himself.
Yeah.
So,
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
I mean, they're just a team that just keeps digging in. Last week they did it against Fulham, and now they're doing it again this week. It's a sign of a team that are really going to go all the way this year and push whoever's at the top with them.
Ian, 2 more big VAR moments for you. Yippee!
It's like Mikel, what can you say anymore? Everybody gets into trouble for saying anything if you back them, if you don't. I think this one they got right, if I'm really totally honest, because that is a foul we'll use on Endo. He doesn't. When you see it, he doesn't get anywhere near the ball with any of his legs. He can't get round him. It's a foul, But I want us to.
Yeah,
move
they got
on.
that one right, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Simple
did.
as
Yeah.
that. I mean, it took longer than necessary, but they got it right.
But then you look at this one with Mateta. I think that's minimum contact as well. For me, look.
I don't think
he's already touched it. You know what?
What's the difference between that and Tielemans? Sorry, not Tielemans, between Jesus' one.
Jesus.
There's no difference.
Exactly.
No.
Because they haven't got a clue what they're doing with the law, in respect to the law. So that one's a penalty and that one isn't. It's pointless even arguing anymore.
Yeah. I think they're actually saying there was a bit more contact in that one.
Regardless, it wasn't enough of VAR to say it's a clear and obvious error and go back and change the referee's decision. He said it wasn't, so yeah, I'm with Wright on this one.
Yeah.
It's not a pen.
OK, Roy wasn't happy with the first yellow card on Jordan Ayew. What did we make of that?
Well, this happens in the game, because you want to take it, and then if someone gets in your way, you kind of do that. It's a little bit of a naughty thing to do. You know, he takes a little bit of step in, and to be fair, it doesn't actually touch him.
No,
really. So I can't understand why he got booked for that.
I think
Because
Roy's got a point with that one.
absolutely got a point with that one.
Again, that's something I saw in the game with Villa today as well, and they got away with it. So it's just lack of consistency, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 games in match of the day 2.
Jurgen, congratulations on a hard-fought win. Your thoughts on the results and the performance?
Result is outstanding. Top-class performance wasn't. For 76 minutes, we played a really bad football game. It was nothing in of what we actually wanted to do, to be 100% honest. We had moments, we had glimpses, but not really. I think everybody could see in the beginning that Crystal Palace and Wright normal in the situation. It was like not high, had not a extremely high confidence level. So they tried to close us down a little bit. We played around, but we never had rhythm changes for the good. Not of number 2 of offside. That's always a sign for that we are not patient enough. That makes no sense. We don't have to be offside. It's just, what is it, half a yard on the other side, and we still can be in the right place a second later. So these things were not good, and that didn't help. And for everybody, the game got more and more intense, and obviously you could see that. Then you barely make better decisions. And we finally conceded a goal. It was like a little bit like we needed that today. And they got a red card, and then in that moment, and we all know that, because that was then really good. We all know against 10 men you can have much more problems than we had today. We did really well then. The changes, not only personal, the formation changes helped as well, and were really well executed. All of a sudden, we were really in the game, and scored directly after the red card, the 1-1. And from that moment on, the direction was good, the rhythm was good, everything was good, and then Harvey, this wonderful young man, scores this great goal, and super important. So, how I said, really happy about the result, and a lot of space for improvement performance-wise.
And Harvey, is it extra satisfying that he comes in as a substitute and scores the winner?
Our subs this season make the difference pretty much all the time, because the quality they have, because of the character they have, because of the mentality they have. They want to show something. They want to help. They looked really fresh, what they are probably. We didn't play that much, and that was super helpful. You have to make these kind of, if you make changes, that's the job for a sub actually. But we all know more often than not you don't get exactly what you want. But this season, very often, these boys really deliver, and I'm really happy for him. He deserves that so much.
And a big performance from Alisson, 2 big saves. Yeah. But I must ask you about Mo Salah, because I have only one question. Yeah, 200 goals for for Liverpool and 150th in the Premier League. A huge and big impact.
Yeah, I can answer both questions, no problem. So Ali, obviously, saved our backside today. Absolutely. The second one, I only saw the second one, and the first one was first half or whenever. I couldn't see probably because too many players in between. But unbelievable saves, and more. Yeah, we carry the shirt already since 2 weeks with us, and now we could give it to him, and was a nice reception in the dressing room. Players are really happy for him, and he should be proud. This is a special number for a very special player.
Thank you so much, Jurgen.
Hodgson, Roy, you asked for a positive response for your team. You had it, but you being sent off really did scupper your chances today.
Yes, it did. I mean, I think that the refereeing performance throughout, unfortunately, scuppered our chances. I think the 9 yellow cards, or 10 if you include me as well, was in no way indicative of the way we played the game. We didn't commit any more fouls than Liverpool at the time of Jordan Ayew's sending off. We committed a lot less fouls than they had done. So I just feel that we've been really hard done by. I feel sorry for myself, but in particular I feel very sorry for the players who should be celebrating a good performance, at least 1 point. I think had Ayew not been sent off, we might have even held on for all 3 points. But we didn't. We accepted the fate that was bestowed upon us, and we ended up losing the game 2-1. So Liverpool go to the top of the table and walk away, and all we can do is bemoan the fact that on another day with a different referee, there might have been a different outcome.
You spoke to the referee post-match. What were the questions you were asking?
No, I didn't ask any questions. I just told him what I thought.
Can you tell us what you thought?
No.
On IE specifically, then on the yellow card, what was your view? The second yellow, your viewpoint on it?
I've just seen it back on the video. Looked like a tackle to me. Can be deemed a foul, I suppose. I don't know, because he's tackling from the wrong side, but it wasn't a yellow card offence. But the one that bothers me most of all is the so-called time wasting. When Van Dijk, who's an experienced player, a player who's won everything in the game, took the opportunity to step forward and kick the ball against him.
We're talking about the re-refereeing of the game in a sense today. We're told that they'd use VAR for clear and obvious errors. It kind of worked each way for both teams, with both decisions being seen to be correct, but it rather took the re-refereeing of the game for VAR for the referee to go to the monitor to have a look. I mean, it got you the penalty with Mateta, but Will Hughes, not sure if that would have been seen earlier if they hadn't gone to the video. What's your viewpoint on so much going over to the monitor?
Well, the question is which referee is the important one today on those decisions. The referee on the field made two decisions and then changed them both because someone else was watching a video. So I suppose the big question in future, do we need referees on the field for any situation which is contentious, or should it all be refereed from afar?
Rocky Manderson so nearly found you the equaliser. Some praise for that for the Liverpool players who just said to me they caught their breath when that nearly went in. But there will be a lot of pressure on you now after this result, and you won't have IU for a massive fixture now. The injuries of Lerma, of Johnston. What's your message to the fans? Because now the pressure is on.
In what respect the pressure's on, you mean?
In terms of the results and unfortunately getting this defeat in difficult situations.
So you mean that I should leave? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying what your message to the fans, that you didn't get a result. You played much better here, but
I don't have a message to the fans really. Our fans are very good with us. They were excellent again today. They were behind us all the way. I don't have a message to them. We're in a bad spell before we came into this. We've just played Liverpool, the league leaders. We're just about to go and play one of the best teams in the world next week. So if you're asking me, do you feel worried now that because you might lose those games, you will have to leave the club? No, I don't feel worried about that at all.
Thank you, Roy.
Okay.
Well, he may have kept us waiting a few games, but Mo Salah has finally done it. His equaliser at Palace and that comeback win is his 200th goal for Liverpool in all competitions. His 150th in the Premier League, which he's done in just 247 games. Is the 5th quickest player to do so. What a player, what a legend he's turning out to be for Liverpool. Amid scenes of jubilation, of course, at Selhurst Park, as Liverpool claimed all 3 precious points to go top of the table. The headlines with Mo Salah, who's in now good company. We've mentioned that already, Michael. What a player he has been for Liverpool in just a few seasons, shall we say?
Yeah, and just hit the ground running straight away, didn't he? I mean, we never really saw it at Chelsea, where I think did he score 1 or 2 Premier League? I think
2 for Chelsea.
Was it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at Roma, you say, oh, he's scoring a few goals, but you never believe he's going to score the number of goals that he did. And I think his arrival, it almost coincided with a new way of playing, the way these inverted wingers come in. And all of a sudden, in this first year, he scores loads of goals, and you think, it's got to be a one-season wonder. It's got to be. You can't score that many. And he just hasn't stopped since. Incredible numbers that he's put up. Important goals. And they've coincided as well with Liverpool winning trophies. And lots of people can score goals. But when they mean something, when they fire your team to victory, they're important goals, then they're worth double. And he's just been incredible.
Did you ever think he was going to be as successful as he's turned out to be?
Yeah. I remember watching him at Basel before he went to Chelsea, and he was brilliant there in the Champions League. So whoever scouted him to get to Basel deserves a raise, by the way. That you can get him at Liverpool from Chelsea, Roma, that's a little bit easier because you see them in stronger leagues. But I think he's always had that talent. He was a dribbler, wasn't he? Back in the day, he was a winger. Yeah. I don't think any of us saw the evolution to be a finisher.
He couldn't finish back then, could he?
Did you teach him?
Actually, look, talking of finishing, let's have a look at the goal then, which was very much Mo's milestone moment. Now, look, I don't want to rain on his parade, but it's the way he finished this, Michael. Does it actually sum him up in some respect?
No, I mean, it was... Listen, it's not his best goal in a Liverpool shirt, but I think if it didn't take a deflection and go in, Liverpool might have got a penalty. It's a little bit unfortunate. It's good work, but Ward here, if he doesn't jump, Elise, I think, clears that. He thinks Ward's going to get a touch, and he's almost on his heels. The ball drops to Mo Salah, and listen, you can call it lucky all you like, but he's done it 200 times now. It can't be 200 times.
But credit Gakpo for making that run, because it allows Mo to go inside to actually be in that position where he can then finish. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit like he takes a deflection off Klein, but I thought Klopp's subs, Gakpo and Elliott, had a big impact on the game, and the bodies they had in the box it was just overloaded Palace then.
Yeah, and we have to just keep reminding ourselves, he's not a centre forward, he's not an old-fashioned striker. You know, he comes in off that wing, but there he is, joint level with a certain Michael Owen with 150. I mean, he's got a long way to go. Everyone's got a long way to go to try and reach Alan Shearer, but I mean, that is, for somebody who's been at Liverpool since only, 2017? And to undoubtedly go down as one of the club's greatest ever players, and so synonymous with all the success that they've had under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. No, as I say, it's coincided with a golden era. He's contributed to a golden era, winning the Champions League, winning the league, winning virtually every cup competition there is as well. So he will go down as a legend of the club. Those numbers will see to that anyway, but the things that he's won at the club have been incredible. And the story hasn't ended there. And you know, will they go on to win more silverware this year?
Yeah. He'll also go down in getting an assist from today's game.
Ah, not having that.
Brilliant assist,
Michael loves this.
I hate assists. This is why I hate assists. He gets, that's it. Yeah. 3-yard pass.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
A lot of work for Harvey Elliott to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lovely finish. I do think that Crystal Palace will be a little bit disappointed the way that goes in. I think there's a little bit of turning at the back there. Chris Richards, probably number 26. I mean, I associate number 26 with being big, strong. John Terry would never have turned his back on that. And but anyway, Harvey Elliott wasn't going to complain. It was a beautiful strike.
Yeah. OK, let's hear from both of Liverpool's goal scorers, Mo Salah and Harvey Elliott.
Big brother.
Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, you can just hear from Mo Salah how he's there to be lent on by the youngsters at Liverpool, including Harvey Elliott. Let's have a look at the turning point in the game. I mean, Palace fans will look at the 2 yellows for Jordan Ayew. I mean, both of them came incidentally with Palace leading 1-0 at the time. Owen?
Yeah, soft, I'm going to say. I think both are... I mean, look... Van Dijk catches it, he goes and then he gets out of the way. And that ball actually goes to a Liverpool player.
Yeah, but he's stopping the early kick.
I mean, that's not a yellow card, by the way, the second one.
This isn't?
No. The second one, no chance. You're allowed to tackle, by the way. Not every foul is a yellow card. No. I mean, that...
Any cynicism in that, though, Michael, that makes that a yellow?
I think it's one of those that, is it a yellow, isn't it a yellow? And I know people will say, well, it's either one or the other, but I do think that if it's going to turn into red, I do think it has to be it's got to be a strongish yellow.
Yeah.
And I think that's a weak yellow. And I think if I was refereeing that and I saw it, I think, oh, if he hadn't been on a yellow, I would have considered giving him one. But as he's on one, I think that's not strong enough to send him off the pitch. Yeah. Both of them are reasonably weak. The first one he doesn't touch, but I do think it's a yellow because he actually runs in front of the ball. His intention is there. Even though then he jumps out. Yeah, look, he doesn't have to do that now, get in front of him. He wasn't in front of him when the foul was given.
But Mo, the ball actually goes to Diaz. He actually gets to Diaz. The ball actually goes to Diaz. He actually gets to Diaz. So it's like...
He could just play on. But look at this, he's standing and he actually makes a... And OK, he then tries to jump out the way. I get that one. I think this is a little bit harsh. It is a foul and it could be a yellow, don't get me wrong.
OK.
But red for those two feels harsh.
And obviously, to make matters worse, Liverpool went on to score the equaliser 98 seconds after that second yellow card. I'm hearing that Roy Hodgson, the Crystal Palace head coach, has gone straight into the referee's room to talk to the match officials, maybe to try and explain themselves over those...
Sure, that's going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll no doubt hear from Roy Hodgson a little later on Matchday Live. But Alisson, who we saw made a great save in the first half, then was forced into action to make sure that Liverpool go away with the points in the 100th minute.
Yeah, this was a little bit more, you know, standard save. Let's say you'd expect him to make that save. I think it's a missed opportunity, though, and I think, you know, go on to the other side of the goal there, and, you know, you've got a huge area to hit.
Yeah, to be fair, Elise came on and whipped a few brilliant balls in. Anderson, he probably should score, but Alisson was Liverpool's best player in the game, made some huge saves. We showed that graphic before about saving goals or saving your team goals. I mean, remarkable, really. And he saved them those 3 points today.
Yeah, he saved them 11 goals, according to XG, since the start of last season. OK, well, our attention switches then from Liverpool.
A very special moment there for Mo Salah with his 200th goal for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool have picked up 18 points from losing position, 6 more than any other side in the Premier League. And as Klopp just said, they did it not playing very well.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Palace got to take a lot of credit in the game. They were very well drilled again and very organised and made it very difficult for Liverpool to penetrate. I was going in Liverpool first half, they were not so sharp with the ball. Palace, I feel sorry for Roy because, they were hard done by with the two bookings that led to the sending off. But to be honest with you, there were several bookings in the midfield area where they were doing petty fouls and stuff and stopping Liverpool making a flow to the game. So I'm not totally kind of sympathetic towards Roy on that subject because I think it's inevitable that you're going to get doubles. You're going to get double yellow cards and be off the pitch, which happened to them. And then as soon as it went down to 10 men, Liverpool took over.
That was it. They took advantage, didn't they? Well, let's actually talk about the 2 yellow cards. What did you think of those decisions, both of them in isolation?
Yeah, in isolation, obviously. I think the second one's a bit harsh, to be honest. He's booked him for that, and he still passed the ball. I think it's Van Dijk. He still got his pass away. It's not like he totally blocked the ball. So, again, he's in front of him, yeah, and you could say, but he's actually jumped out of the way at the end there. So I think that's a harsh yellow. And I actually think this is a harsh yellow, if I'm brutally honest as well, Seema. I think he's making a genuine attempt to play the ball, and it's not like he's halved him or chopped him from behind. He's actually going for the ball there, and I think it's really, really harsh, and it's difficult enough to play against Liverpool with 11 players. To lose a man like that, I think I actually agree with Roy Hodgson. It's a tough one to swallow that.
Yeah.
I'm still sympathetic for the referee because there was repeated fouls in them positions.
Possibly,
and when a team's trying to get back in the game and you keep giving fouls, actually, I'm quite happy that the referee did give that for some.
Well, again, it's about opinion, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He would say yeah, and I would say no. But especially
when it's good for yellow cards on little set, but when it's
especially when it's a red card, but it's such a big moment, isn't it? If it's maybe go and say to him the next one you're off, but he's gone quite early with the second yellow, not giving him any warning or nothing. It's a genuine attempt for the ball, so I think it's a little bit harsh.
And that said, 98 seconds after he was sent off, Liverpool score.
Well, again, it's the mindset of the Crystal Palace players. We're up against it now, and do they switch off for these couple of minutes? I mean, they get a bit of luck at the end of it, actually. It takes a big deflection away. But again, it's well worked down the right by Liverpool. And who do you want on the end of it? Mo Salah, special day for him. 200 goals for Liverpool Football Club. That is unbelievable. We've seen the graph beforehand as well. He's in some esteem, the company, should we say, when it comes to Liverpool. But he gets that bit of luck off the defender.
And it went, Gomez made a difference coming on at right back, and Trent went into midfield. Started to dictate the play in midfield, which was great. That was going to be a penalty anyway if he didn't score. But Liverpool were making all the running then.
And the Elliott's goal, obviously, this is a brilliant finish. I mean, Salah lays it onto him, but he makes it then from then on. It's, again, you give Jurgen Klopp some credit as well. He made the substitutions, brought Elliott off the bench to give him a bit of spark, to give him something on the front foot. And again, Elliott's having a really good season this year, and it's a brilliant finish from the young man from the edge of the box. And I suppose you have to give Mo Salah assist as well because he passed the game out wide, didn't he? But
he did.
Again, you look at the stats after the game, Seema, they have 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Jurgen Klopp said it wasn't a classic. We won't be re-watching it too many times, but it's 3 points in the bag.
And I don't know if anyone quite realises this, but it's actually 1 defeat in 27 in the Premier League for Liverpool. And then, as I mentioned at the top, the points gained when losing. I mean, is that not the sign of a team that can go
They're getting their mojo back, aren't they?
They are.
Their rhythm back, and it's not good for the other contenders.
We shouldn't forget Alisson today. Alisson came back on.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
And he made 2 brilliant saves, one in each half, one right at the death and one in the first half.
That wins your leagues.
We sort of said off air, Tony, that wins your leagues. If you want a team to win your league, goalkeepers have to step up at times and make big saves. And again, Alisson was called upon. He'd done brilliant again today.
Well, talk of teams that are fighting for that top spot. Arsenal are one of them, and they were hoping to reclaim top spot in the Premier League table as they travelled to Villa Park, which has been a tough place to go, as Villa have won their last 14 home games. So how did this play out? Let's find out in the company of Andy Townsend and John Champion.
I think you said on Wednesday, if we win again at the weekend, we are in this title race. So you're in it now. What do these 2 wins say to the rest of the league about Villa?
No, we are in, but only I can speak more about it. We can be happy and we can be excited and motivated to get it.
Since you came to the club, have you seen a real increase in the mentality of the players?
Yes, it's progressively a lot of work to do, but we're increasing it, mentality and believing how we can be stronger.
Well, Mikel, I imagine you have a few frustrations after that. What would be your chief cause for complaint today?
The results, because I'm really proud of the way the team played in this stadium against this team. I think we deserve to win the game, certainly not to lose it. But in order to do that, you have to be better in the boxes, and certain things have to go your way as well.
Do you have any frustrations with decisions against you, or is that not something that you'd comment on at the moment?
It's clear and obvious for me. Yeah.
In what way? Just you should have had something and didn't?
I leave it to your interpretation.
Through the third of the way through the season, the manager said in midweek, if we win again at the weekend, we are in the title race. Is that how all the players feel as well?
Yeah, of course. When you beat City and Arsenal in a week, one game controlling them, like Man City being controlled, then suffering against Arsenal for 85 minutes and managing to win again, I'm a believer, mate.
He's a believer. So someone else as well, a victory that comes with royal approval. 15 on the bounce now, and a captain's performance from John McGinn.
Yeah, I mean, he's been brilliant. I think, Unai Emery has really improved all of the squad in general, but I think John McGinn is one of those players that's really flourishing in almost like a different type of role. I think with having people like Tielemans and Douglas Luiz and Kamara around him, it gives him more of a freedom to make runs like this, get himself into dangerous areas, and takes his goal really well, calm, with his back to goal, and sticks that one in the back of the net for his 4th Premier League goal of the season. I just like him in this position because it's something to do with how powerful he is. When you get close to him, you can't stop him because he turns well, runs well, but people just bounce off him. And I think that's the one thing there that maybe Unai Emery just asked of him. It's that little bit of quality, that added bit in the final third. Find the right pass at the right moment. Because you're going to be in these areas more often, you need to do that. This side of his game is what we always have seen. I don't think anyone's had to question John McGinn's tenacity and ability to win the ball back. Always looking forward with willing runners. I thought the substitutes for Villa, when they came onto the pitch today, played a massive role given the amount of energy that they put into the game against Manchester City. And this is at the back end of the game where, Matty Cash, another substitute that comes on, he's backing him up, he's doubling up in that full-back position, winning the ball and just driving the team forward. It was an inspired performance, from the captain today. And, he was a big part of the reason why, they got the win, and we've got some stuff to back up his performance here. First with the tackles, first with dribbles, and the possessions won and duels won.
Wow.
First in all of those categories for a centre midfield player. Explains why he was a top man today.
Really was very impressive. I thought though that Arsenal played pretty well. Yeah. Arteta mentioned himself that they need to be better in the box.
I think today, because as much you're going to a Villa side where 14 wins on the spin, just beating City, they're playing very well. I thought this was quite a difficult chance for Saka. It's coming across. He's kind of maybe lost flight of it, and then bam, he's missed the opportunity. But I thought they took quite long to work out the line of Villa, the high line of Villa. We just could have gone a little bit more direct at trying to penetrate that. But there was chances. It was very good. This is a fantastic chance. As you see him there, he's gone with the goalkeeper's right. Maybe could have done a Cole Palmer, cut it back on him. But it was a good save from the keeper. And again, you look at this. There's no one in the box. And that is something that's always going to be a problem. Good save from the goalkeeper. But again, this one for me, we saw Odegaard last week score a similar chance to this. And again, we're talking about a Villa side that played well. Arsenal played very well against them.
It's that high line you were talking
there
about.
it is. I thought, like I say, we took too long to work that out. It was just offside. Maybe it shouldn't have been offside, seeing the whole line, but it was. But, it was... I think that when you look at the way Arsenal did play, they could have got something out of a game, and it would have been fine because, like I say, Villa have done very well. Poor touch from Jesus there, not like him. And for me, this is the moment for me. The ball was so close to everybody. It's hit Matt Cash's hand, it's hit Havertz's hand, but the law says that it cannot hit your hand anywhere, and it leads to the goal, and you score. And it's the most ridiculous law in the...
Defenders can accidentally handball it, forwards
but
can't.
the forwards can't.
Why are we trying to stop goals?
Well, because...
The people who make the laws of the game, why are they doing that?
It's
really
ridiculous.
Bizarre.
The most ridiculous law in all of law, not just football law, all law in the whole world of law, the multiverse and everything.
Well, I have to say, I really don't like VAR very much anymore. I was one of those that advocated it, and I actually feel quite guilty, and I was definitely wrong. It's spoiling the game. So, Jesus, well, we talked about the handball, but Jesus, there was a lot of talk about whether he should have had a penalty or not.
I thought that it should have been a penalty in the way that penalties are given nowadays, a minimum amount of contact. I think that he gets the ball there, he's going to collect it again. He can maybe go and get it again, but when you look here, he's clipped it there. There's the kick, there's the contact. Now, they're saying that's minimum contact, and I'm seeing penalties given for minimum contact. So
I think it's one of those that if he'd have given it on the pitch, they wouldn't have turned it over again. But anyway.
It's exactly that. I mean, I don't think it's a penalty, but I'm with Wright in fact that I've seen them given, and so I can understand the frustration, definitely.
It's the inconsistent.
So they have beaten City and Arsenal within the space of 4 days. And as you can see, they've set a new club record of 15 Premier League home wins on the spin. That is unbelievable, considering the teams that they've met along the way as well. Unai Emery has brought out something in these players, and it is very special.
Well, Martinez got it on hit the nail on the head. Yeah. I'm a believer at the end there.
Yeah.
I mean, rightly so. They play Man City and then to play Arsenal in 4 days. You know, the only advantage I suppose they were at Villa Park for both of them, but at the same time, take nothing away from 6 points out of them 2 games, 2 clean sheets. Martinez is a huge part of that as well, of course, and the defensive unit that Unai Emery organises without the ball is just, you know, it's a masterclass if you're a coach or a manager watching that. Watch Aston Villa, how they set up, watch how they defend the lead. They got a great early start to the game today, but they had to defend in numbers at times, but did that.
Yeah, they're not actually contenders until they can go away from home to the Emirates and the Etihad and play like that and get results. Then you're to contenders for me. You know, at home, great record they've got. And they're delivering, and he works defensively, fantastic. But you're not going to win the league unless you can go to these big clubs and get points and not lose.
Yeah, that's a good point. Spoken by a man that's won the title 4 times. Can't argue with that. McGinn. Sorry, I had to mention it. John McGinn was the player that scored the goal that separated the two sides. What did we make of the goal? 7th minute as well.
I mean, it's a brilliant goal. John McGinn's 4th goal of the Premier League season. He's most in any sort of season, so he's having a great time himself. He has to buy into the defensive section, but you see him in the middle of the picture there. How many times do we see John McGinn arriving into the box? Again, Bailey does brilliant on the right-hand side, and it's a touch and a fantastic finish from John McGinn. And you know, he's the captain. Talk about leaders. We talk about captains. Man United captain, maybe not having a great time, great season. But this guy, John McGinn, is everything good about Aston Villa, both on and off the pitch. And you know, he's just refreshing. You know, he just loves playing football. He loves scoring goals, and his celebration's not bad either.
Yeah, he's having his best goal-scoring season in the Premier League. He scored 4 in the Premier League and 6 in total. So he seems very happy. So do all of the Villa players. But what about from Arsenal's perspective? Because Mikel Arteta was asked about 2 incidents specifically in the game. One was a penalty shout for a foul on Jesus. First of all, what did you think of this, Tony? Do you think this was a penalty?
I think you're clutching straws a little bit. I think we lost a bit of shape for the goal, and Villa played very well. We had a few opportunities to get through the line, but when you're talking about incidents like this, then you know that you've lost the game, and you're clutching straws. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, if you really, really slow it down and analyse it, there is connection at the back. You know, let's get on with the game, you know. Let's get on with the game of football.
What about Havertz's handball?
I think the ref got it right, actually, at the time. The ref blew for a handball, and I think it's the right decision. I know VAR have to look at it because it ends up in the back of the net, but you can see the referee straight away. See him, it blows the whistle. I think it's a handball, definitely. I mean, you could argue there's Cash's handball as well, but there's
a number of them.
There it clearly hits his hand, and
Arsenal penalty.
The laws of the game is if he hits the hand at all and he ends up in the back of the net by the goal scorer, which is Havertz, then it's the right decision. It should be a foul.
Okay. Well, that sums that up, and Arsenal, of course, miss out on the opportunity to climb back to the top of the table. Right, now it is time for us to take a break, after which... Hello and welcome back to Matchday Live, where we have just seen Aston Villa beat Arsenal by 1-0. And I am delighted to say that we are joined live at Villa Park by their captain, John McGinn. Hello, John. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you hear me, John?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, brilliant stuff. Look, it's lovely to have you with us on the show. Thank you for joining us. And congratulations, Manchester City and Arsenal within the space of 4 days.
Thank you.
Can't hear us, Seema.
I don't know if he's hearing us, but he definitely did when we were having a little bit of a rehearsal. John, can you hear me all right there? I don't think he can hear me. Do you know what? We're going to try and get him back. That's a shame. Hopefully we'll get him back because they have beaten Manchester City and Arsenal in the space of 4 days, and it would be great to get his thoughts on that, wouldn't it, Shay?
Yeah, I think we actually had a brief chat.
We did. We had a little chat, didn't we?
And he said, we asked him, actually, Tony mentioned about, the defensive setup at Aston Villa and how much they work on it, and he did mention it's drilled into them day in, day out, and lots of meetings, lots of things. But again, as I said before the break, it's quite refreshing, especially from my goalkeeping point of view, and a centre-half sitting next to me is to see a team enjoy defending a defensive block, a defensive unit, and there's not much space between any lines, and John McGinn, you would say he's more an offensive player and obviously got an all-important goal today, but at the same time, he has to buy into that defensive setup that the manager wants.
And that is credit to the manager once again. Everyone was saying Unai Emery is a master in Europe, which he is, given his record, but he's mastering the Premier League as well this season.
He also said he was bored doing it. He said all summer I've been working on it, all pre-season. It's so boring to be defence. And and also said you're going to win the league, John. And he said, yeah, they're going to. I know.
Well, we can make up anything, can't we? Well, unfortunately, we can't get John McGinn back, but we are going to hear now from Arsenal's Martin Odegaard. Disappointment there for the Arsenal captain, Martin Odegaard. And as you can see, John McGinn is back with us. Sorry, we lost you there, John, for a moment. We couldn't hear you. But as I was saying, congratulations. Manchester City and Arsenal within the space of 4 days. What is going on? You guys are on the most phenomenal run.
It's a bit strange, I'm not going to lie. But just our home form at the minute's just been exceptional. So we went into the game today with no fear. The last team to beat us here were Arsenal last year, so we had a little bit of revenge, an opportunity for revenge today, and thankfully we managed to take it. It wasn't as fluent a performance as it was on Wednesday night, but we showed huge character and grit, and I think we stood tall today. A lot of the players who haven't played many minutes, Leander Dendoncker, Alex Moreno, they really came on, and Jacob and showed real fight and desire to get us over the line, and thankfully we managed to get a clean sheet.
Look, you set a new club record of the 15 home wins on the spin, which has been mentioned so many times, so congratulations for that. But you're also having the best goal-scoring season of your career in the Premier League. What's made the difference?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a bit more composure. The chance today, it was actually really ironic. I had the exact same opportunity in a Europa Conference League game. I'm watching it now. Leon cut it across, and I've actually tried to lay it off. But the staff do a lot of analysis, and they said if that happens again, turn on your right foot and shoot quickly with your left. So thankfully they picked that up, and it paid dividends today. So the manager said I need to get involved more in goals, and I promised him 10 this season. Hopefully I can get more than that. Fingers crossed.
John, I was going to ask you, we spoke before the break about the defensive shape, and I know you have to do your own defensive work as well. But that goal is a classic example. Does the manager give you freedom then to go whenever you break from a sort of defensive block?
Well, he's done a lot of, especially when I'm on the left-hand side, he's done a lot of work on me, kind of covering the front post, not only to get those balls, but to create space for Ollie in the middle of the goal. There was a chance the other night, I've made the same run, and Ollie was free in the middle of the goal. So we work a lot on that. Sometimes we only attack against four, especially against attack with four, against the best teams. Sometimes Douglas can get involved, but the best teams in the league can pick you off from these attacks. So it's about being secure at the back, but having the licence to fire into the box. And thankfully, he gives us wide players the permission to do that, and it's paying off.
Well, John, congratulations once again. Thank you very much for joining us, and well done. Looking at the league table, I know the Villa fans are very happy indeed. Do they have what it takes to maintain this momentum? I'm not saying necessarily to win the title, but to maintain this level.
Yeah, I think it'll be squad rotation, but I love Torres. They've got a great goalkeeper and a great spine, so that's the makings of a team, same as the Arsenal, to be honest with you. They've got a good goalkeeping issue. We've got to sort that out. But Declan Rice has come into the screen and really come into the team and really made us tight and solid. If you win 4 championships, you said, thank you for saying that.
That's
not
all
me.
right.
But we've always had screening players, back to the Paul Davis when I first come in, and then, we had people like Patrick Vieira and Manu Petit, and then during the Invincibles it was Gilberto, you know, the invisible screen. They're brilliant players.
Absolutely brilliant players. And, you know, there's so much to pick out of this fixture that we've just seen, and we will do so. But first of all, let's just have a quick recap of what we have seen today in the Premier League, and what a Saturday it has been. Well, Liverpool left it late. They came from behind to beat Crystal Palace by 2-1. Brighton and Burnley shared the goals and the points at the Amex Stadium. Manchester United, how damaging a defeat is this 3-0 defeat at the hands of Bournemouth? The first time Bournemouth have won a game at Old Trafford. Sheffield United under Chris Wilder back in the dugout beat Brentford by 1-0. Wolves and Nottingham Forest shared the goals and shared the points. And Aston Villa, well, there's confirmation of their stunning win, a huge win at that, over Arsenal. And there are some big games to come tomorrow. Everton and Fulham off the back of some really big wins midweek. They play Chelsea and West Ham respectively. Luton against Manchester City off the back of their defeat. Good luck, Luton. And then Tottenham play Newcastle in the late game. Wow. What a weekend it's been so far. Let's have a quick look at the Premier League table, shall we? Here is the bottom half. And Bournemouth are the big movers, really. They've moved up a couple of places after their victory over Manchester United. But as you can see, it's Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United that occupy those bottom 3 places. If we take you to the top, well, Liverpool find themselves at the summit. And the last time they were top of the tree was May 2022. So there you go. Only 1 point clear of Arsenal. Aston Villa just behind them. It's very tight indeed. And Manchester City completing that top 4, although they have to play, of course, tomorrow against Luton. 3 points to go, 2 points off top of the table. And at the start of the season, I don't think anyone would have predicted this run.
No, but I suppose you could go all the way back to when Unai Emery got the job. I think they were in the relegation dogfight, weren't they?
I think they were 16th, actually,
I think
in the
he
table.
only added 1 addition last season, and they've shot right up the table and finished in the European places. So we shouldn't probably be surprised or shocked.
Yeah.
Maybe we are a little, but you know, he's added to that in the summer. And again, the performance tonight, I know Tony's going to look at the defensive sort of setup of Aston Villa, how well drilled, how well organised they are. It's been absolutely brilliant to watch, because I know we say the Premier League is the best league in the world, and I actually believe that, and we see lots of high-scoring games, don't we? But sometimes, especially this man sitting next to me, to win a game 1-0 is a big thing as well, because it doesn't happen by magic. It happens by hours and hours on the training pitch and being well drilled, and you've got to give that to the manager.
Absolutely.
No, I love the performance. It's hard for me to say all this stuff. You know? I'm sitting
okay,
at
Tony,
Arsenal wanting to Arsenal to win 3-4-0, you know, but I've got to take my hat off. I thought it was an exceptional performance, defensive performance from Aston Villa, and I don't think they've got the squad to go on and win the league. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going for a really great period where they've all hit form. They all believe in the methods of the manager, and he's got in there and he's worked hard. I know he's hysteric. He's very thorough with his group of players, and pre-season he would have drilled them really well, and it's coming out in results like this. And once you get on a bit of confidence, then you actually you know, it works in your favour. But I don't think they'll go all the way. They haven't got the strength.
You say they haven't got the strength, but we still have January around the corner. If they were to dip into their pockets and bring in some reinforcements, sign some players, could the story be different?
Everything seems under the radar at Villa, which probably Unai Emery doesn't mind, and even the owners perhaps, because they've got 2 billionaire owners as well. We shouldn't forget that. And if they feel that they've got a chance of winning the Premier League, they might not get a better chance. They go, well, if Unai Emery wants backing in the January window, why not give him a few quid? You never know.
You never quite know. You never quite know. So talk to us about where you think it went wrong from Arsenal's perspective today.
Well, where it went wrong was how Villa played, I think. How defensively they played really well. I think because, like I said previously, Zinchenko is a very great positive thing for us, but he can be a complete weakness. But this is highlighting the square in the middle that Villa play with the back 4. You know, fantastic line, and there's an offside again for you. You know, all the damage is done. They held a fantastic line. If there's pressure on the ball, you're able to hold the line. Another offside, game over. You know what I mean? It's like, actually, if you've got pressure on the ball and that square midfield, then you put no pressure on the ball. This one's a little bit more riskier. They're still holding a great line. They got a bit lucky on this one. But it's still the general principle is of holding a very high line, but you only do it, let me tell you, if you've got pressure on the ball. That one they got a bit lucky with. This is brilliant. This one is brilliant. Absolutely rock solid line, no way through for Arsenal. So in it comes and out of play. I think we've got another one here. Oh, this is the last kick of the game. Last kick of the game, holding it out the box, offensively from the Villa.
And it's quite fitting to finish on the conductor, because he's the man who's done that, the organised shape, the way they've been set up, and he's been absolutely brilliant. And again, I say, it is quite refreshing to look at a team defensively and what's he changed? Well, they have brought goals to the party, but what he has brought, he's brought steel and metal and a defensive unit that's very, very difficult to break down.
Yeah, and look at how often, they're catching sides
Amazing.
offside.
75 caught offside. The stats don't lie, don't they?
They do not lie, do they? And I guess we have to put it all down to Unai Emery. I mean, credit to him.
Boring Villa, isn't it? I'm getting my hand up already. I'm like that. I'm like, come on, offside. Brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you...
I'm so excited.
A moment that the fans would not have found boring, well, the Aston Villa fans at least, was in the 7th minute. John McGinn's goal. I mean, how good was this goal, first of all?
Yeah, well, we spoke about it, Steve, at half-time. Again, you see him in the middle of the picture, number 7 there, and he's just sort of, no one really gets close to him at any stage. That's great play by Bailey. We know how quick Bailey is, 1v1. He's difficult. Rice gets pulled out of position right at the death there, but, you know, it's a great touch and finish by John McGinn. Absolutely brilliant. You see the space he has. At no point there's any engagement. And Tony mentioned he's quite narrow, so it's difficult for Ben White to go all the way in maybe and pick him up. But how many times have we seen McGinn get into the box? Now, Rice does see him, so I'm not saying he doesn't see him, but then he gets sucked towards the ball. If Rice holds the ground, maybe he might be able to get some sort of block on the cross, perhaps, you know, but take nothing away from this finish. And this is a very early start, you know, Emery's come out. Let's come out the blocks fast, which they did at Villa Park, got the nose in front, and with that defensive block we just looked at as well, were too difficult to break down today.
And to go ahead early is quite a statement as well, isn't it, Tony?
He's a clever player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very clever player. Takes up some really, really great positions, and I don't think Arsenal ever got to grips with that square. You know, Declan Wright didn't really know what one of the two players, the two offensive midfielders, to actually play. You know, you've got a situation here where he's running in the box. Actually, he's taking 3 players with him. You know, he's taking 3 players in there. And he's just peeled off one. White's struggling, Ben struggling to get over there, and it's a great finish. Yeah, that's just a really clever position to take up. And he's just put it away.
Wow. Penny, for Arteta's thoughts there from the stands?
I wonder what has you know, Arteta been up there in the stand, like, because as I said before, he's always animated on the touchline. He's always, like, you know, making orders, pulling people around the pitch.
Would you feed off of that energy as a player?
I think you do, and I think you're used to it as well. You have it every single week, and then that voice is not there anymore. You know, he's up in the stand, and yes, he's radio mic to the guys on the touchline, but at the same time, it definitely has an influence, I think, on your team. And again, I suppose it's his own wrongdoing. He got booked, I think, was it against, because when Wright scored the winner during the week, and I suppose that's emotion as well. He got excited after such a late winner, but I think his team might have missed him today.
Maybe so. Well, late on in the game, there was a Havertz handball, late in the, 80th minute, 89th minute?
Yeah. This is, you know, the neutral in me kind of says, accept the referee's decision and let's move on. The Arsenal fan in me says, there's a cash handball in there, it's a penalty.
That came first,
there's all sorts of things happening. I'm waiting for it to be a goal or overruled by VAR. But like I say, the neutral in me, referee's decision is give the free kick, get on with the game. Get on with the game.
We actually thought history would be repeating itself, didn't we? Because Arsenal like to score late on and they hold the record for that in the league. They did find the back of the net, but it was ruled off.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right decision. I really do. I think it's definitely had Havertz's hand at some point in that move. The referee's on-field decision was to give a free kick, and then VR got involved, checked it, and I think, as Tony says, it's not a clear and obvious error. I think it's the right decision.
The right decision was come to in the end. OK, it's time for a quick break, after which we'll head back.
Cathedrals of football. Anfield, the venue tonight. I'm Derek Ray here on the commentary position, joined by Lee Dixon. And we've got Premier League action coming right up. It is Liverpool up against Crystal Palace.
Thanks, Derek. Well, both managers will be reminding their players how important it is to get off to a quick start here, attack the game from the off, impose your game plan, and hopefully we get a good game.
And the keeper there to make sure nothing untoward happens. And this is how Liverpool start the game. Alisson begins in goal. Andrew Robertson starts. It has to be. Can they stop it going in? Not giving him a moment's peace. Regained possession. He knows what he's doing when it comes to blocking. And a decent delivery. Well, that is a moment I'm sure he wishes he could have back.
Well, he did everything right, the movement and everything. He got his head on it, but it's way, way off target.
How can you not be entertained by Mohamed Salah, a magician with the ball at his feet? Lee, in what way will he contribute here?
Well, I kind of think he's pretty unique in world football right now because he's scoring all these goals from a wide position, and that's his key. He comes in from that wide area, in between defenders, and his goal ratios.
And mistimed the run, sadly. That's offside. Roberto Firmino. And treading it forward. He just needs to stay level-headed now. Can they put it away? Wijnaldum, unable to get a body in the way. Can he give them the lead? Well, it might still work out for them. This is Thiago. Good defending to prevent the chance. Robertson, and he's through here. Salah! Player in the way again. Fabinho. Great opportunity. And there is the goal that gives them a well-merited lead. It had been coming.
Well, here it is again. It's the 1-2 that does the damage, and he takes full advantage of the time he's given. It's an accomplished finish too.
Well, let's take another look at that goal, shall we?